Hello students. Today let's start the new chapter AC circuit and the management for the AC circuit. How can we produce the AC circuits? So here as up to now we have used the steady value of the current like in the chapter electricity from where we have started to study the current. There we have taken the steady value of current. We haven't taken the concept of the changing current or varying current with time. So whenever current will start to vary with time, then our concept for the current effect, that is generating magnetic effect or electricity effect, all changes. And there we need to study, we need to just make a device differently than we have made for the steady values of the current there. So here as that steady value, that value is fixed with time, constant with time, that is known as the direct current. So here up to now for the magnetic effect of current and all the electricity topics that we have discussed, that is for the direct current. So here next type of current, a glimpse of that we have seen while we were seeing for the electromagnetic induction and their methods of the production. So as in the methods of the production of the electromagnetic induction EMF or current, so there we have seen that we can change the flux, we can produce induced EMF or current by three methods. First, by changing the magnetic field. Second, by changing the area of the coil. And third one, by changing the orientation of the coil with respect to the magnetic field. So whenever we will change the orientation, then that time we have seen in that sine concept, sinusoidal concept we have seen, and later a graph I have just represented before you, that is representing a current and EMF, that's value is changing with the time, that's value is varying with the time. So to remind you again, let's write the equation that we have discussed for the change in orientation. So the EMF there was given by NA omega B into sine omega t. So this is the omega t that we have just written in the place of theta, and theta is what the orientation that is changing with respect to the magnetic field. Means if we will keep the coil in the field of the or in the direction of magnetic field, then we have started to rotate it, then area of the coil and magnetic field, the angle between them will start to change. So for that case we have seen that induced EMF is produced in this way, and if sine theta will have the maximum value, then that time EMF will have the maximum value of it, that is equal to NA omega into B. So in place of this one we can write the maximum value of this EMF there. So this is known as the peak value of the EMF, or also we are calling it in case of the wave, that is amplitude of the EMF here. So you can also say that this is amplitude of EMF, or this is called the peak value of EMF, maximum value of EMF, whatever you want to call it. So here E0 sine omega t we can write. Now if we will start to plot the graph for this one, like on this we have taken omega t, and on this we have taken this E. Then whenever we will put the omega t, that's value is 0, means omega t this is equal to theta, that is rotation of the coil with respect to the magnetic field. So if theta is 0, then for that case sine theta will be also sine 0, and sine 0 has the 0 value, then it will provide us the value of EMF, that is equal to 0 here. Again we will start to increase the theta here, then with increase in theta this EMF is also increasing, and it reaches a maximum value whenever we are putting the theta, that is equal to 90 degree, means sine 90 for that one E will be equal to E0. So this is the maximum value that we are obtaining for the EMF, and beyond this maximum value we cannot increase further the EMF or the current here. So because the rotation of the coil that we are getting for this value, the maximum value, again when we will start to rotate the coil from 90 to 180, then that time it will start to decrease, and again at 180 degree it will become 0. And still if you want to just rotate the coil from 180 to 270 and again 270 to 360, then for that case it will provide you the negative value, and for 270 again we will get the maximum value of the current in negative direction or voltage in negative direction. So this is equal to E0, and then for 270 to 360 it becomes again 0. So this is a complete cycle when one complete rotation is made by the coil, and while completing a rotation you are seeing that with time its direction is continuously changing from 0 to pi. This phase we are also saying it, or rotation you can say that from 0 to 180 degree rotation its value is positive, and from 270 to 180 to 360 here its value is negative we have. So this kind of current whose value or voltage you can so say that whose value is changing with time, that is known as alternating current or alternating voltage. So here the graph that we have plotted, this is for the alternating voltage here, that's value is changing continuously with the time, and its direction is continuously changing. Direction is changing means sometimes its direction is positive, in positive direction, sometimes it is in negative direction. So AC current have this additional property than the direct current. Direct current will have only either positive cycle or this negative cycle. So this half value of the this positive cycle is known as half positive cycle, and this is half negative cycle. So we are also just calling it by this name. So if you will start to plot the graph for the DC or we are saying direct current, then for this one either you will get only the positive half cycle or only the negative half cycle, means you will get only one direction for the current. Here the direction of the current is not changing with the time, so you can also represent it by some steady line here. This is a constant value that we are getting. Also you can represent, if you want to represent it by some graph, then in such a way if you will representing it, then this is the graph for the here DC. So this is the DC current for which only we are getting the positive half cycle. So I think the alternating current and DC current or alternating voltage DC voltage is clear. Whenever you have defined the voltage and in your coil some resistance is present, then obviously you will get the current. So for the alternating voltage you will get some alternating current there, and the graph will be as like the same, and value of the current that is given by, you know that this is E upon R if coil has the resistance R here. Now let's write down the value of current in the terms of sine function there. So with the help of this induced EMF we can calculate the current, and this is given by E by R, and if you will use this formula, this is E0 upon R, this is sine omega t. So here we can also see that the current is also in sinusoidal function, and again it is changing with the time. Whenever you will change the time, its value will change. So this is the expression for the alternating current, and this is known as, this expression is known as instantaneous value of the current at any instant t here. So if at suppose at 2 seconds you have to find out what is the value of current, then you can utilize this formula by putting the value of t is equal to 2, or you have to find out at 5 seconds, 8 seconds, then you can directly calculate the value at that instant by using this formula. So this formula provides us the instantaneous value of the current here for the certain value of the or predicted value of the time here. And one more thing, if you will start to just take the maximum value of sine theta here, so sine theta will be maximum at 90. So for the maximum value you are getting I maximum, that is equal to E0 upon R. So this can be represented by some I0 here, and this I0 is known as peak value of the current or maximum value of the current. Also we are calling it amplitude of the alternating current. So this is all the name of this maximum value of the current here. So we can also replace this one by some I0. So this will be equal to I0 sine omega t. So this is the expression for the instantaneous value of the current, and this is the expression for the instantaneous EMF of the current or induced EMF in the circuit for any instant t, or for the some rotation theta you can define it. Next, to just move further in the chapter, we have to just understand some of the definitions here again, like we have defined for the wave also in previous year, but again just let define it because we needed it to discuss some of the topic in the chapter. So here first definition we have, that is for the amplitude. So you know that for any wave, amplitude is that value of the wave for which it has the maximum value. So if you will again see the graph for the current, suppose we are here seeing this is the alternating current equation that we have just written now, I is equal to I0 sin omega t, and for which we are getting the graph in such a way. So this is I, this is our omega t, and for the variation of omega t we will get here sin omega t. If omega t is 0, then that time we are getting I is equal to 0. If omega t is 90, then we are getting I is equal to some I0 here. And again if omega t is 180, again we are getting here 0. So such kind of graph again we are getting for the alternating current. So this is one complete cycle, and in this complete cycle you are seeing at two places we are getting the maximum value of the current here. So in positive or in negative direction. So this maximum value of the current is known as the amplitude of the current. This is also known as the peak value of the current. So I think this is now clear. One second thing that we needed here, that is time period of the circuit here. So as you know that the time period is the time taken to complete one rotation, that is, or one complete cycle, the time taken by any wave, by any particle, by any body. So that is known as its time period. Like if earth is revolving around the sun, then earth is taking the time to complete one revolution around the sun in 365 days and some month we have also. So here one more things, like we are adding one day after the leap year. So here sorry, not for 1 month, it is the hours, some of the. So for some hours, some months, and these days earth is taking time to complete one revolution around the sun. In the same way, like if you will take the example of moon, then it is taking some days to complete the revolution around the earth. So here one thing is only the time period is defined by the time taken by any body to complete one cycle. Means whenever it will again come to its initial position, then that is known as its time period. So if so we will just find out here in the case of alternating current, then as alternating current is obtained by the rotation of the coil. So if you will start to rotate the coil, then first we have kept the coil at theta is equal to 0, means when the angle between area of the coil and external magnetic field, that is 0. So from where we have started to rotate the coil, and we just start to increase the angle from 0 to 90, then 90 to 180, then 270, then 360. So when we will reach to 360, then one complete revolution we will have, and in that one complete revolution the time taken by the coil, that is known as its time period. And if in the circuit you will see, so here from here to here we have got for the 90 degree period, from here to we are getting 180, then we are getting this point for 270, then this point for 360. So we can see that at this 360 degree again it is reaching to its initial position, and when if it will start to again rotate, then again we will get the same cycle as we have just made here. So simple thing is that to complete this whole of the cycle, the time taken here. So time here time period can be defined easily by the angular displacement to the angular velocity. So angular displacement here, from here to here this is pi, from here to here this is pi to 2 pi. So total variation is here, angular variation, this is 2 pi here, and the velocity or angular velocity that we have taken, this was omega. So time period for any alternating current, this can be defined by 2 pi by omega here. Next one definition here, that is for the frequency. So frequency is reciprocal of the time period, means in 1 second if we want to see how many number of revolutions are completed, then that is known as the frequency of oscillation, frequency of wave, frequency of any body that is revolving. So in that way we can just define the frequency here. So in 1 second if you will see how many number of such kind of rotations we have, then that is the frequency. So simply frequency can be defined by reciprocal of time period, and from here if you will write down the value, this is equal to omega upon 2 pi. So omega can also be written as 2 pi f here. Now we can write down our formula I0 sin omega t in 3 different ways, and that you can use directly to solve the numerical problems later. So let's see that. So here if we will write I0 sin, in place of omega we can write 2 pi f, and this is t. So in the terms of frequency we can write this value of the instantaneous current. Also in terms of time period we can write it. So this is sine, and you know that omega is equal to 2 pi by t. So this is 2 pi upon t, this is small t, and this is I. So here you can also write down this value. So this is in terms of time period, in terms of frequency, in terms of angular velocity. So whatever value is known to you, then you can utilize the formula to calculate the instant value of the time there or the current there. So next one here, if you will see the frequency of the our AC current that is coming in our home, that is the 50 hertz that we are using here. In some countries we are using 60 hertz also. So generally we are using 50 to 60 hertz frequency AC cycle or AC current in our household circuits. Next one here, if you will see the average or mean value over the complete cycle for the AC, then that is equal to 0, because for the first half cycle we have the positive value of the AC current, and for the negative half cycle we have the negative value of the AC current. So whenever you will add these two values for the one complete cycle, then mean value for the AC, that is 0. So here if you will see the graph, then for this one half portion of the graph we have got the average value for the 0 to t by 2, because from here to here it is taking one complete rotation, and this is taking time t to complete it, that is time period. So if at half place it will be t by 2. So from 0 to t by 2 the value we are getting for the AC, that will have non-zero value. Again from only t by 2 to t, again we will get the value of AC in negative terms or with negative sign, but that will not also be equal to 0. But whenever we will add these two, then as these are equal in magnitude, only opposite in direction, then that will be equal to 0. So always the average value or mean value over the complete cycle for AC we are getting 0. But whenever you will talk for the direct current, then we never get 0 for the direct current, this value. Next one, if here you have to prove this word by mathematical calculation, mathematical observation, like over the complete cycle we are getting the mean value 0. You can prove it mathematically also. So let's prove it by mathematics. So to prove it by mathematics, we can calculate the charge here first, and by taking the concept of charge per unit time, that is called the current, then we can use that concept to derive the expression for the mean value of the current over a complete cycle. So first, as we know that I is given by I0 sin omega t here, and if you will see in short time dt, the charge that is given for the current I, that is given by the dq is equal to I dt. So suppose only in changing dt time we are saying what is the change in the charge for which we are getting I current. So this is given by rate of change of charge, that is known as current here. So if we will just integrate this equation over the complete cycle, so for complete cycle time is varying from 0 to capital T, the time period. So this is I dt, and in place of I we can write here the value of I, this is I0 sine omega t into dt. Now we can integrate this one, and after the integration, the value that we will get, that will provide you the value of q here. So whenever you will integrate the sine omega t, then its value will be minus of cos omega t upon omega. So let's write down the minus value outside the equation. This is minus I0 upon omega. So inside it will be cos omega t. This is 0 to t. So let's put the value of upper limit and lower limit. So upper limit we have t here. One more thing, we can just write down in place of omega, this is 2 pi by t here. So let's write down now the upper limit, this is 2 pi by t. In place of t we can write capital T, minus of, in place of t we will put the 0, this will be cos 0. So here this t will be cancelled out, and cos 2 pi minus cos 0 we will have. So as you know that the cos 2 pi has also the value 1, cos 0 is also 1, so 1 minus 1, this will be 0. So for this one q will is obtained to be 0 here. And if we have to calculate now the value of I or average value of the I over the complete cycle, so this average value is given by charge over the complete or over one time period. So this is equal to 0 from here, as the charge is 0. So no charge is carried to whenever we are any particle is completing one rotation for the AC current here. So the mean value of current is 0. So mathematically you can also prove it easily. Next one, after the discussion of the AC current, I think up to now the definition of AC current and some of the properties of the AC current, that is clearly visible to you, and you can also understand it. So here just one thing you have to understand. Now we are just updating ourselves for the variation of the field here, variation of electric field, magnetic field with the time here. Up to now we have studied the four field of the electromagnetism, that is first electrostatic, electrodynamic, magnetostatic, magnetodynamic, and there we haven't talked for the variation for any of the value with the time here. So up to from this chapter we have started to see the variation of the quantities with time. So time varying quantities we are going to study. So some of the complications will also occur here. So just these basic things, try to understand it first. So after these discussion, now the next thing is that can we measure the AC current by galvanometer, that we have discussed in fourth chapter. So here, as in moving charges and magnetism chapter, we have seen the application of the torque produced by any magnetic field whenever we are putting some conductor in the magnetic field. So as any conductor or magnet in magnetic field, that feel torque due to the presence of the Lorentz force there on that conductor. So due to the torque, that coil start to move in the external magnetic field or rotate in the external magnetic field. So this is the concept and this is the principle for the moving coil galvanometer that we have used to detect the current, because current produces magnetic field, and whenever current will enter, then that charged conductor will start to rotate there. But one thing is here, we can only detect the direct current by using the moving coil galvanometer. Reason you can understand easily, as in moving coil galvanometer, if you will see in its construction, we are using a reference point. This is suppose 0, and in both of the side our needle can move here. So like needle can rotate in left and right in both direction. So suppose we have the two already direction for the alternating current, positive direction and negative direction. So for larger current, this deflection of the needle, suppose for positive half cycle it is in right direction, then obviously for the negative half cycle it will be in this left direction. But whenever very small current will present in our circuit, then the needle will not show the greater deflection. Then due to the persistence of our vision, we will not be able to detect whether the needle is rotating or not, because only we can detect the alternating current whenever this needle will rotate in both of the side. If it is not rotating in both side, it is rotating in only one direction always, so it means that it is representing direct current here, one directional current. So if we have just obtained the value of current, and for which one it is only rotating left in left direction, or it is only rotating in right direction, then that time direct current measurement we have done there. But for alternating current, the small values cannot be measured by the galvanometer, because it is just dependent on the directions of the current. So in which direction the current is flowing, it is dependent on that, and due to that one we cannot measure the alternating current here, because alternating current is also varying with time, and it is changing its direction continuously. So such kind of current cannot be measured by the moving coil galvanometer. This factor you have to keep in your mind. And if we cannot measure it by the moving coil galvanometer, then how can we measure it? So we are measuring such kind of current by hot wire instruments, we are designing some different type of ammeter and voltmeters to measure AC current and AC voltages here. So that ammeter and voltmeters are based on the principle of the Joule's heating effect. So as you know that whenever current is moving in the circuit, then that current always produces some heating effect, and that heating effect can be given by, or heat produced by the current is given by I square RT. If we have used any resistor of value capital R, so the heat lost by the resistor per unit time, it is given by I square R, and in some time t it is given by I square RT. So as this heat lost by the current here due to the flow in the resistor, it is not dependent on the direction of the current, it is only depending on the production of heat by the current. So whether the heat is for the positive half cycle or for the negative half cycle, always heat will have some current will have some value. Then that current will always produce the heating effect, and that heating effect, as it has I square value, because if you will take negative or positive sign of the current, then there is no effect for the heat produced by it, because the square of the current will always give us the positive value. So for the positive and negative for both cycle, heat produced is the same there. So it means it is independent of the direction. So such kind of applications we can utilize to measure the AC current and voltages. So we are making the devices, and these are based on the Joule's heating effect, and that's why they are called hot instrument or hot wire instruments for measuring AC currents and voltages. So I think this basic factor is now clear to you. So next one here, after the discussion of this galvanometer and hot wire instruments, now we will just start to see some of the values that we are using in these instruments. So actually in this instrument, hot wire instruments, we are not using the exact value of the current. So also we are not using the peak value of the current here. So we are using mean value of the current, average value of the current over the cycle, or we are using the RMS value or virtual value of the current for the cycles. So like in our home, if we are seeing the voltage that is coming, so that is the RMS value of the AC, that is not the peak value of the AC there. So later we will see also what should be the peak value of the AC that is coming at our home. We can see that at which voltage we can vary our devices. Even if we will design any device for the peak value, then what is the variation of the voltage we will have for that particular device, and what can be the sensitivity of that device. So students, I think for this kind of measurement of the current and variation of the current with time, this is now clear. So in next class we will see this kind of the variation that we are using in hot wire instruments here. So students, let's summarize the topics that we have discussed today. So we have discussed alternating current and voltage, and how the alternating current and voltage are produced. So generally it is produced by the electromagnetic induction, and also in electromagnetic induction it is not produced by change in magnetic field or changing the area of the coil. It is producing only whenever we are rotating the coil in external magnetic field. So after that we have seen what is the or complete or mean value of the alternating current over one complete cycle. So let's just see the mean value and the RMS value in next class. So for today this is enough. Then let's just end our class here, guys. Thank you.